have been weaking. These last 2 weeks have been weaking. Has anybody had like a simultaneously great last 2 weeks and also like a brutal last 2 weeks? So, yeah, if you know what I mean, yeah, this is for you. So today's reading, we are talking about how to get over your most recent disappointment. Remember, disappointment can be what is disappointing to you. That could be someone told you no, you can't. If you're my daughter, you can't have a big piece of candy before class. For before dinner. Or it could be a heartbreak. It could be you got denied for a loan. You got uh, I don't know, stood up at the altar. Sorry, that was a harsh example. If that happens to you, my condolences, but I don't know why it just popped up in my head. So if somebody is watching this later and you have stood up at the altar recently, I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully that was just one of those, why did that come into your little ADHD mind? And not like, uh-oh, psychic April is back. um, Collective. Maybe. I'll start with collective. If people come in and you have questions or you want to ask anything particular about your disappointment or what you experienced, feel free to ask some questions in the comments. Please like the video, like. Send it to others, ask them to come in and join and see. I know that it's new, so it's gonna be some times where I'm just talking to myself. And am I ever talking to myself? As a Gemini, are we ever talking to ourselves? Because isn't what we say always eventually created and comes out? So yeah, there's that. I see that. Okay, I think that this is gonna be a short live. I just realized that I have just a little bit of energy left from my last one. But if you are joining, I'm doing your most recent disappointment. How can you get over it? Thank you for the likes. If you are watching this and you have a particular question about yourself, feel free to ask a question. Hi, hello. We're answering questions. Your most recent disappointment, how can you get over it? Disappointment can be something simple as you lost your keys. It can be something as big as you lost someone, a heartbreak, death, a pet, denied a job or denied for school. And disappointment is what's disappointing you right now. So I'm going to do a collective one. Over on Instagram, I posted a pick a card. So if you prefer pick a card, you can go there and pick on the same topic. Now we're just doing a live, see what comes up. And feel free to comment below if you have a question. If you want to know, oh my God. I think all the disappointment energy literally went out the door after my Instagram. So if you're here right now, we've got the Queen of Cups here. So this is like top tier emotional maturity, emotional mastery, being able to feel more than see sometimes. Because sometimes what we see with our eyes or what we think with our mind isn't, it's too nuanced. You know what I'm saying? Like as I've gotten more into my journey, I realized that I have to be equally intelligent and equally emotionally emotionally intelligent. So smarts in the brain, but also smarts in my heart. And so here we have the Queen of Cups. On the back of deck, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Here with the Ten of Pentacles, we know that this is like happy family, happy life. So I'm just, right now, I'm like, where is the disappointment? But here we're going to pull from our Starseed Oracle cards. Because I don't see anybody being kind of disappointed right now. Okay, this message is kind of a clarification of what was on Instagram. Again, if you look on my Instagram, Lyric and April Wonderlust, I did a pick a card on this topic. This right now is just a, please like if you're watching this. This right now is just a live reading where you can come in and ask questions. If you want to ask a particular question about a recent disappointment, you can do that in the comments. This card, you got the love. Okay. I understand the disappointment now. I understand the disappointment now. Back of the deck, if you believe, compromise, a new earth is happening. Keep holding the vision. Okay, so what? Oh, okay. So here we go. All right, so with these cards, I see that like for you, you have a particular vision of what a happy family, a happy life would look like. A version of you that you would be if the right person was in your life. Okay. The problem is that you're basing this perfect, happy version of you in the future based on another person entering the picture. And if you go into any connection, whether that be friendship, relationship, work, anything with that mindset, you are going to become codependent. Here we have the card, you got the love, which is the lesson about what we all hear. Like, you've got to find that self love before you go out and love others. That's something that I had to recently discover. It's not just self love, it's self trust. If you believe is here. A lot of times we guard ourselves against things because we are afraid not of what the other person is going to do, but what we're going to do if they do what we think they might do that they might not even be planning to do. And so we become hyper vigilant and hyper stressed because we're like, okay, if this person isn't exactly like this, then I can't be like this. I can't be the Queen of Cups. I can't be emotionally mature. But your job is to be emotionally mature whether there's a person there or whether that person's acts in a certain way or not. You have to be self-sovereign. You have to have self-mastery. So you're disappointed by yourself. I'm sorry, love. Like this is literally what it is. You're disappointed by yourself because you don't believe that yourself is enough if there's not someone who can mirror and show you what exactly you look like at all times. There's not a self-trust of like, I know. I'll give an example. Can you imagine going into a bank and just like robbing it? Probably not. The average person is not going to rob a bank. But imagine you're sitting at home in fear, like, oh my God, what if I rob a bank today? Like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to react to the police? And you're making all these plans. Oh, if the police catch me and I rob a bank today, then I'm going to do this, and that. And if the police, or if my mug shots everywhere, then I'm going to go on a run. I'm going to go to Cancun. You're making all of these plans about what you would do if you robbed a bank. And you're not a person who would rob a bank. Maybe someone else would. So that's what I'm talking about like sovereignty and self-mastery. This is something like sometimes people can tell us, watch out for this, you're capable of this, or you might do this, and you have a fear around it, and it's not you. It's not who you would ever be. It's not something that you would actually do. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to find connections and relationships with people and get them to be the Queen of Cups, the most mature one, them to be the happy family, them to be the perfect picture, them to be everything that you're wanting to be in life, but you think you can't be on your own. You need someone else to get you there. And that's why you have codependent relationships. And the last connection that you had probably stripped a lot out of you. And this may not be a romantic relationship. It could be a business partner. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. But this type of relationship, you're feeling the disappointment because you feel like the only way you can be the best version of yourself is if that person was in your life. And that's self-work, babe. That's not true. It's not true. We can always be the best version of ourselves based on our own guidance. So now what do? How do we take actionable steps to fix this disappointment? What can you personally do knowing that those came out quick? Knowing that this comes down to you. Okay, here we go. We got the Four of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and Page of Swords. Reverse or upright? How do I feel? Reverse? That's reverse. Eight of Pentacles upright. Reverse. Good news. It's not hard work. You don't have a lot of work to do to get this self mastery, but you do have to actively focus on it. Be aware of the pattern. Be aware of exactly what you mentally are thinking or experiencing when you connect with other people that causes you to do these things. Um, okay. All right. If you have a question, if you want to ask anything more, please feel free to drop it. The other card we got was the Page of Swords reversed. So that's also like this is a mental like mastering our thoughts, kinda. Okay, like the Page of Swords is getting there. They're getting more mature with their thoughts, but sometimes they can slip into the emotions of others. They can anchor like this Queen of Cups that you're wanting your person to be, this perfectly emotionally mature person who can handle whatever you throw at them and whatever you're feeling and all of that kind of stuff. Like that person, that Page of Swords reversed tells me that you're supposed to be this emotionally mature person, but you still have like past actions and thoughts and things and beliefs that are coming through in these connections that's causing you. 1122 was on the timer, so yeah, that's a confirmation, especially with it being romantic relationships. All right, that's all I have for today. I have to teach a class. I've got to do yoga. I need to cry. So thank you so much. If you saw this live and you liked it, I will try and do these more often. I really will. All right. This is I'll turn it off.